for Nongshim if they are going to bring this to 3. They're the Game 2 team, as it's been dubbed by you in the space there, but not ready to trust we're going there, as they will take away... What's that? Who's champion? Was it the mid laners?
Yeah.
They didn't ban Lee Sin, I'm just saying.
Lee Sin, yeah. Well, let's see. Maybe they ban it here. Nope.
Nope.
Not going to happen. Ashe. Maokai.
Is it going to be a Tom Kench? No! As it turns out. I'm sorry to everyone. Anyways, let's see if the Senna will get banned this time around. The Kalista is banned. The Ashe is gone here. Varus is still available, but maybe if Nongshim Red Force themselves interested in potentially picking up the Kalista. Might be a trade for Smolder. Lucian is also still up for Gumacaria. I'm very happy to play that. Will not be left up. So if you want to lock the Smolder, you're going to have to deal with the Lucian. Same to be said of Zeri, of course. Maybe they just first pick Nautilus here. Leave it a little bit open-ended.
You could. I mean, Nautilus is pretty strong, but Lee Sin instead. So they are going to potentially counterpick that one from our POG winner of game number 1. And to be honest, I don't think it's a bad idea. There are still a lot of strong picks available, and maybe you want a little bit more information before you go head first into like a Smolder comp or something like that. So just go ahead and pick the Lee Sin, very blindable, and then move on once you see what else T1 want to play.
Yeah. It may just be Lucian Nami here. Could just grab Nautilus, though. Faker going to get the Talia. So it does feel like it is going to be a pushing bottom lane of some kind. It might just be Talia Lucian. Varus, I think, is also pretty safe in the draft like this. As, okay.
No, that was Zach.
Yeah, I just thought maybe they were just gonna have a little bit more fun. Valdez, when they just locked the unfun Sejuani.
Yeah, they're gonna say, this is how you play Sejuani. Let us show you in game 2.
It'd be really fun if we just reverse drafts, but...
Yeah.
Zach's not coming yet.
Not just yet. Did get a slight nerf on this patch. Sylvie is going to pick Udyr for the team. And that means that Dundun will be playing this back-to-back.
Yeah, this time they won't have a Sejuani with it. See if T1 just want to run the Twisted Fate back, as it did give Nongshim a little bit of power topside, but not for very long. Ahri would be interesting here. They did not sub Fiesta in critically. We didn't talk about that just yet. It's okay, Karma. But T1 will not let you play Smolder in this draft. Varus will come through in response. They may leave it open and say, we just crush you so hard in lane that we don't care, and let the Smolder get locked in here for Jiwoo and then just try to outplay it. That'd be a very T1 thing to do, like last game when they let the Kalista go through and just pick the Senna into it and still won.
Yeah. The fact that Varus made it all the way through to R3, and now they get a couple of 80 carry bans. It is pretty strong. Very strong pick in general. It was first ban in the first series on blue side both times. Game 1 and Game 2, and in Game 1 of this series.
So with Nautilus ban, would you rather deal with Zeri, or would you rather deal with Smolder, is the question here for T1. Ban Rakan. Very interesting to see that one.
Very worried about the 0 and 6 Xayah.
Yeah, that's very bad into Varus.
Yeah, no, I'm
not 100% sure about that one.
Rakan himself is very reliable engage, but
I don't see any other pick that makes a lot of sense here for Nongshim, unless they wanted to go like Ezreal Karma and put Call Me on something else. Jace, a smart ban here. It also makes me worried that they might be playing Xayah.
Where's Aatrox?
Okay.
Smolder Varus.
I think they're just hovering it to say, I know you're going to pick this. There's no way T1 would play an unusual, strange bottom lane. Would they, Valdez? Would they play Vayne top into the man who failed to get a win on it? Or will they just play Renekton?
Or Gnar. It's Gnar.
It's Gnar. Gnar, known to be pretty good into Udyr.
Yeah. The good version of a ranged top into Udyr.
Yes.
Not Vayne.
Not Vayne. Twisted Fate was okay, but the Nara is the real safe one. It's going to be very difficult to punish. As they knew it was going to be Smolder. You and I knew it was going to be Smolder.
We all knew.
I thought maybe for a moment it could be Zeri, but it's going to be the Smolder upset angle, the Ox principle.
The Ox principle.
Milio is stronger for Smolder in the late game. The Alistar is stronger in the early game for surviving dives. It is also Sejuani you're playing into, so you feel pretty good.
Yeah, Sejuani Varus. I think the Milio is a good call.
Yeah, feels pretty good against the CC you're up against here. And the range that you're going to get is going to feel really nice too. You're going to have mid-prio into the Talia, unless Call Me makes big lane errors. So a solid draft here for Nongshim all around. We'll find out what's going to hold it all together here for Keria. Could be Caitlyn.
Rumble! Okay.
It's not the Rumble Ashe, it's the Rumble Varus.
So, Wolf, you want to tell us about your experiences watching this in Challenger League?
So when I watched Challengers, when it was Ashe Rumble, Operation X, fellas, that everybody loves these days.
Absolutely. Well, this time Call Me has been put on Karma duty, and we'll see how that goes for him. And we have Varus Rumble in the bottom lane for T1. I think we're going to see a lot of things set on fire in this game number 2. As we are ready, let's hop onto the Rift.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
So Rumble has purchased the World Atlas. And is going to be farming Varus, as we expected. But we have seen variants of this where the Rumble does farm. It's a little bit trickier to pull it off. As Jiwoo going to get some stacks.
2! Oh my gosh.
No one's ever had that many stacks at 50 seconds. It's the fastest pace we've ever seen. The Nongshim Game 2 angle. It's real, Valdez.
It's happening. Look at him. That's a number 2, I see.
He's ahead of Viper's pace right now. If he could just keep this up.
It's true.
I can see it.
He is currently ahead. It's factually a thing. Meanwhile...
Yeah, that's how I feel when I jump on my flying rock surfboard as well. I get really excited.
I've been playing a lot of Talia jungle recently. It's pretty good. It's pretty fun.
Sylvie and Dindin going to get a ward here and start Raptors. They were seen on Vision. That was placed.
So Zoner.
Zoner will also, as you say, be seen and going to be vertical jungling to start things off. Jiwoo has played 4 games of this Smolder. Only one time were they able to get the Karma with it. As you can see, Call Me did not win that game, fortunately, but it has been the most common mid pairing. As Faker is 7-1 on this. Owner hasn't played a single game of Sejuani. That's kind of wild.
Yeah. Level 1 trait. Udyr just does his circle thingy at him. That's the official name of it.
Yeah, circle thingy.
Yeah.
Very strong.
Yes. Mia from Horewan Prince playing up against KT's Tushin.
It's been a while.
What are you doing in 2020, Wolf?
Getting ready to cast the LCK at 2021.
Yeah.
In all seriousness.
Yeah.
It is what I did for a very long time.
Yeah. That was like midsummer. Actually, end of summer, I guess. Mid-August. So, makes sense. We'll get there soon enough. We're all already almost done with spring somehow.
Yeah. All right, so far the poke has been good here. Keria goes Comet, and you try to just chip away at these health bars with your harpoons, and if they try to come up to contest the wave, you set them on fire. Then you crash waves in. When you have level 6, you can do a really nice all-in, but if you do enough chip damage before that, there's obviously an angle there too, with the wave crashing. The vertical jungling that was set up is really nice as Keria.
He does not have his Q yet. Just use the speed boost on his shield and the harpoons to trade with the aggressive ignite as well, just to get them low. And you can see already, this is annoying, and Sylvie has to come down here after not even fully clearing his jungle, level 3, and he's not going to go for the gank. I mean, they're just too low and it's a Smolder, so like, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Also, the Milio, like, there's no engage, so Either you stop a dive from happening or you try to 1v2 almost.
Now, the vertical jungling at least does give him the space to come down here and do this freely without any sort of 3v3 happening. And Honor is going to come down to the mid lane right now, as you guys can see on the map, try to threaten Call Me, but otherwise he's going to force it back out of Peter. And in the bottom 2v2, this is going extremely well for Guma Keria, as you'd expect. So the weakest part of Smolder is the early game, and lanes like Varus into it do feel fantastic. Let's see what Honor can get done here.
Call Me is in a lot of trouble. He is going to flash away from this one, and so he should be fine. But yeah, that's an early flash already taken away. Gets hit by the seismic shove.
Faker actually ahead in CS in this matchup, feeling very good about that. And don't worry, observers, it's Udyr. Nothing's gonna happen. It's Dundun. They're like, it's Dundun Wolf. I'm like, okay, well, that's a fair counterpoint. Nothing's gonna happen.
Did we see Zeus get the solo kill in game 1? Wasn't that the first series? It all happened so fast.
No, I don't think
so. I don't even know.
I don't think he did.
I think it was Keen, right? He got the solo kill.
That's right. Oh, the Cassante.
Yeah, that's a frog.
Yes.
Yeah, game 2. So, Varus very good at trading. Rumble, very good at early trading. And they're playing into this lane that has a Smolder who doesn't even have 25 stacks. So, that's the way that's going to go. We do have Sylvie on the Void Grubs already. And Donor's down here on the bottom side of the map doing the Hextech Dragon.
Yeah, and because Faker's actually winning mid, there's just no contest possible here for Dragon. And that is not what you want to see. And if you are running the Karma, he is going to come over now, but it's very late. See if they can get something done in this skirmish. So hard to fight with Smolder in these very, very early skirmishes.
There's just no way. I mean, he's just dead. I don't even know why they walked up to that one. Peter just going to die. He did try to flash, and yeah, kind of ill-advised to try to go in and challenge that one, especially because the Drake was already so low.
If you had rotated over as Call Me, or if you had Prio and you could stop Faker from being there, or make his Weaver's Wall a little bit more awkward to use, there's a world where you can contest that. But with everything the way it was set up, I mean, it was just never going to happen, and they felt super priced into it. And this is the frustrating thing as a commentator watching Smolder games sometimes with our East Side teams. It's just the win conditions aren't necessarily fully understood. As Sylvie coming up here, let's see it. Zeus is in trouble.
Yeah, this is Mininar, and he is going to have to flash out of this one. Tries to flash to the side, still gets hit by the Q as Sylvie is a genius on that one, and Dindin gonna take a bunch of damage, but he will be just fine. Nice play from Sylvie.
Can't even blame anything there for Zeus. It's just really good play from Sylvie and Dindin. The Q does connect. Zeus has to flash, but still gets hit by that follow-up Q, and the timing of that was fantastic.
And the fact that Sylvie was top means that their bottom lane that already didn't exist it's like wiped off of the face of the universe.
Yeah, it's somebody click on Smolder.
No, don't.
Somebody
Please,
click on Smolder.
No, I don't want to see it.
I think we know.
I'm gonna guess 30. Well, the ult's gonna come in here as Sylvie is going to eat a bunch of ultimate abilities. Has to flash the seismic shove here. Does Jiwoo. As everybody has joined, you talk about the ability of the Taliyah to join into these bottom lane fights. They've got everybody. And their whole family's here.
But you're playing Karma into Taliyah. The Taliyah's not supposed to be able to have this much free reign. And yeah, he is down his flash already, and now he's down half of his health bar. Peter still doesn't have his flash back.
They're gonna get the turret.
They're gonna get
9 minutes.
The whole turret and all the plates.
Peter is level 3.
It's going to be like that for a little bit longer because both he and Jiwoo can't stack. He can't stack and can't farm because they can't get to where the minions are.
They're getting denied so many minions right now.
It's insane.
Like, look at how much XP they lost. And now they're going to try to fight this 4v4, but again, their bottom lane doesn't exist. Jiwoo is going to hit a Q. That one's point and click, thankfully, and Donor just flashes away, and he's totally fine as the rest of them just going to pump damage into that Karma. And, well, at least the turret survives. I don't think that's actually a good thing at this point in time.
No, it's keeping him away from minions. It's really annoying for him, actually, as you will get some of these at least. And he's half the CS of Avaris here at 8 minutes. And Call Me has not been able to change the story of this game.
He just hit level 6, did Keria.
Yeah, he could just go for the equalizer here. Hex Flash.
Yeah.
There's a ward, though.
Yeah, Geo wouldn't die, I don't think. But still going to go for it, and just going to flap away. And the Q is dodged here. I mean, this is just like... This is just bullying. And are they going to get the turret? I don't know. Chain of Corruption comes down, and now Peter's going to just barely survive with that shield as Sylvie desperate to try to help, and he finally will be able to. As the turret, it stays alive on about 5 health.
Yeah, well, that ended up backfiring for T1 in a big way, staying there. This play, on the other hand, where Rumble just presses Q and flashes onto the poor Milio, who can't do anything about it. Call Me?
Okay, well, now Call Me is, he is Karma. He's just going to flash out of this one. Faker, though, with his own flash, trying to hit some rocks, and that he will. Flashes forward for that kill. As looks like Owner just threw an ult in, and Call Me just got comboed. The power of the Talia.
There you go, there you have it. And Call Me just a bit far up, I guess, and got caught by the shove. It's as simple as that. We're just watching gold explode everywhere for T1 right now on this map. Known from our Pinata, they are hitting repeatedly. And they're not blindfolded, actually. Lee Sin's on the other side.
Birthday Party just got really overly aggressive at this point. And Keria is just eating 3 turret shots for some reason. So he is just going to die. Trying to flank on the support Rumble, I guess. I don't know.
It's okay. Just a little bit of showboating. Just a little bit of happy gaming. Longstorm are happy for it, though. They're the ones who are really happy with the happy gaming because they're actually now starting to get some gold back into their pockets here. 3 kills for Sylvie. Kill picked up for Ju on that bottom side attempt from T1. Yes, it's still a massive lead for Guma. And yes, the Smolder is not going to be relevant anytime soon. 67 stacks he's sitting at here is kind of unbelievable. As Call Me just trying to put the pressure on mid-turret. No real vision around this area. Not advised. Will be punished for it. Good flash from Faker to guarantee the last part of that volley does connect. And Keria here is kind of corralled by Sylvie and Dindin, so not really much he could have done in the situation, but the answer to this situation was to not be in the enemy jungle in that position. I think that's probably what he should have done, was to just go back in time and not do that.
Boy. It's Infernal Rift here. T1 did take the first couple of Drakes because Smolder does not get Drakes. And that just means that we're going to have a lot of map control, which means more Cinders, which means also more chances to get these Infernal Drakes and Infernal Soul. And Rumble with Infernal Soul, Talia with Infernal Soul, Varus with Infernal Soul. Heck, even Gnar. Pretty strong, as Call Me does not have Flash. He does have a Tether and Prayer, I suppose. But after Shock does come through, and the Permafrost, and that will be the end of the Karma. Just very far up the lane with not enough vision.
All you can do is pray to Faker, but he will not answer. He's going to give you another
Faker
death.
Works in mysterious ways.
It certainly does. And in this case, a little bit more straightforward and less mysterious, but
well,
let's see how mysterious this is. Yeah, let's see.
Now, Talia, okay, he is going to be able to knock him away. And now he's got a Blast Cone. Maybe can help him out with a TP coming in, though. Looks like Faker is not very long for this world. He is going to get a nice combo, though, on a Call Me. He's keeping them at range. Another Q is going to land here from Call Me, but eventually Sylvie works up the courage to challenge Faker, and that will be the end of that. So we do have the the red carpet is called down, and Keria is just shelling at him from range. Doesn't even need to burn him in this case.
So much time spent on the bottom lane for Sylvie, obviously, that, yes, Faker dies, but they get to set up that play topside with the support Rumble, drop the equalizer, and then come with the Q, like burned down there by Scorch in the end. And now it's the second kill of the game. He's had some whoopsies, he's had some fun moments, let's say.
Oh, yeah.
It hasn't been all bad here. You know, he's getting the advantages that you want with the Rumble for the Varus in the bottom lane, and now helping Zeus out. So Zeus is starting to get quite large up here too. We'll get the teleport out of Dindin and some additional plate gold. And his owner does not have his ult back just yet, but still interested. Coming up empty!
Yeah.
So he calculated there from Sylvie, like sand going through owner's fingers.
Well, Carry is ganking top again, and let's see how this one goes. Udyr this time around is unmovable, but it does not matter. As he got CC'd by dying, actually, this time around. Nice little steal here from Sylvie, trying to make a play. Kick comes through, hits the both of them. Now Mom is called down for, it feels like the first time in this game, actually. 14 minutes in, and they just get away.
So imagine this scenario. You're a 13-3 team. You just lost 2 important matches to Genji and Hanwha Life. It's the last week of LCK. Really important games. Easier opponents, but you got to win those. Otherwise, Hanwha might be creeping up on you, might be taking your second spot away, might be going for a potential run into the round 2, so you'd have to play that first round where you could be eliminated if you get upset. So what do? Rumble support, gameplay like this. That's right. It's a T1 game 2 versus Nongshim, Valdez. That's where we are right now. You are here.
We have the map open right in front of us. We're like, oh yeah, we're right there.
Right there. And I'm here for it, because if it was just super calculated, great T1 macro, amazing standard boring draft, it wouldn't be as fun, would it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they brought out the Rumble in this series, because it was something we saw to the Challenger team, but now, you know, maybe it's not something they will bring out against one of the really strong opponents in a best of 5, but maybe if things get desperate, like in a game 3, now other teams will know that they also have this in their back pocket. Didn't necessarily have to show it against Nongshim, but maybe they wanted to put that fear into the other teams, maybe bait out a Rumble ban at some point.
And we did see some Ashe bans and some Rumble bans throughout last week when it was popular in the LCK, where it was very clear teams were worried it might happen. Some of their scaling bottom lanes. The Rumble ban in the first series was just weird. That wasn't it. But anyway, we have seen some that were in places where you realize that they definitely thought that there was a chance that this could be played. And we've seen it with Ashe, now we've seen it with Varus. It did work in terms of the laning phase. And it has worked in terms of getting both the Varus and the Gnar into a pretty successful position here, as the execution has been mostly good. Carry's not going to like it for his KDA, but, you know, showing another champion of his ocean here in the bottom lane, as the Dragon started up here by Nongshim as T1 a little bit late on the rotation. Zayas does have TP. He's getting a turret, meanwhile.
I wonder if we're going to get a Huni rating on this Rumble, by the way. It's a support Rumble, so perhaps not, but he has gone for the Huni builds, including Ignite, as you would in the bottom lane. Zayas is here. Mega Gnar is about to time out, though, as ult comes down, and everybody's corralled against the wall. Oh, no! Zayas is going to take advantage of that. Now, it does go the way of Nongshim. The Drake, they do take it out, and it's a 1-for-1 trade at the moment. Carrier flashes the wall, doesn't get anything. Comes up empty, and you know what? Nongshim, they get the Drake, and they trade 1-for-1. Not half bad.
This is actually really good for Nongshim. Now, the mid turret is going to go down. The top push was very successful for Zayas as well. Did a significant amount of damage to that turret, but unfortunately now is down his teleport. And good flash from Call Me as well over the wall as soon as Zayas went into the pit for the play. Really well-timed Narbar on his TP in. It ends up being a trade of kills here, but the Dragon going over, extending this game significantly for this Smolder. And the Rumble is, he has Leandri's right, he has his Stork Shoes, doing the Huni build. That's Ignite. But he is a support Rumble who's not going to continue to get resources this game. This is kind of full build. You're supposed to win the game off of the advantages you have here. You're not going to offer the same sort of utility as ult comes through onto Call Me, and when Zayas comes in here, he flashes out instantly, and then puts up the root. As then the Smolder ultimate comes down, and Dundun is actually able to secure the kill here. Yeah. And they end up trading 1-for-1, and the Dragon is secured. But Carrier, he's full build now, and he becomes less and less of a big problem later on. And that 50 CS lead that Varus has feels so amazing, feels so terrible if you're the Smolder in the early game, but as we approach 20 minutes, 25, maybe 30 minutes into this game, you're going to care less and less as you continue to stack and your items come online anyways. So definitely feeling right now as Nongshim the most hopeful you felt in the last 18 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah, I do think that Jiu has been stacking up pretty well since the early game disaster, which we don't really want to speak about, but ever since then he has been doing a good job. So I don't think he's that close, but he's at 174, which is not bad considering the way the early game went for 18.5 minutes. So
yeah, got a decent amount of stacks off that last fight too, and now he's going to go get some off of Duma.
Yeah, it's a bit more. Let's add a little bit more into that. Guma getting pretty low. Equalizer comes down as Sylvie gets in there and he catches Guma. And he might go down for it, but look at the damage he does. Dundon gets into that back line. And this Happy Gaming doesn't feel very happy anymore as Noxim are fighting, but Call Me does stay a bit too far ahead of his team as everybody else was running away. Felt like Noxim might have been able to extend that fight, but they chose not to.
Yeah, sighs of relief on some of the faces of the T1 players after they are able to get those kills back. A bit of greed from Call Me. Sylvie, you can understand, he's going in to make the play. Of course he needs to go that deep, but Call Me does get punished here. It felt a little bit unnecessary there at the end. But Jiwoo kind of leads the charge here on this play. Flaps in, chunks Guma down, and Sylvie is looking for an angle here onto Keria. The Equalizer gets a decent amount of damage done, but again, flash kick for the win, or Q into the kick there for the win, and Keria does end up going down, but then Call Me ends up getting flipped, and so
I feel like they could have stuck around, but I guess with the Mega Gnar, and Dundon had already gone down to the bottom lane. Like, if Dundon was there and if he was in the front line tanking, like, his owner was so low. But, you know, we don't have 225 stacks yet for the Smolder. They're like, oh, okay, well, it's a good trade at least. But I do feel like that was a nice angle for them to try to squeak a little bit more out of it. They're still down about, 4,500 gold, so even though it was a pretty good fight, it's not like it's getting them right back in the game or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Call Me doesn't die there and only Sylvie dies, you could probably continue to push the play pretty comfortably. There's a tough call in that moment, though, after he gets caught by the shove, and team's a little bit disjointed. As you say, T1 definitely still in the driver's seat in this game, but the Smolder is becoming more and more of a problem. That might not necessarily have to be solved, but T1 do want to win this next dragon fight. It's very important for them. If Noxim end up getting 2 Infernal Dragons on top of the already great scaling that they have in this composition, the Ghost Blade out.
Yeah, he's just about to have his flashback, Sylvie. So could have maybe looked for a play, but not going to happen. Zeus is up a couple of levels here on the Dundon. Felt like the Udyr was actually making something happen in that last team fight, but
yeah,
the side lane still a bit of a issue, especially with the Black Cleaver finished already for Zeus.
Yeah, he's just kind of been sitting in the sides by himself for a really long time, and so he's getting a ton of extra experience, getting a ton of extra CS, as is noted in the farm numbers here. Now, Noxim also have to fight for this dragon. Faker does not have TP. We'll have Weaver's Wall soon. There's a window here for Noxim to actually make an aggressive play and secure this dragon. Obviously, Jiwoo does have his ult. He's about to finish his stacks as well. Off of these 2 minions, he'll get it. He has it.
Yeah. Very nice timing. Now, the spike at 225, not as good as it used to be, but still pretty good. And now, actually, it says right down there that it's at 6.93, so actually pretty good at the moment. And we're getting some damage into this one. Equalizer comes down. That is a nice wall to get them against the wall, but it is going to be smited away by the owner, actually, as now in the pit they are. They all got to flash away, and down will go Sylvie, not able to secure that objective. So T1 able to get this fight and get the Infernal Soul point.
Still have enough space on the fight to actually control it the way they want to, and the Weaver's Wall really ruins everything Noxim was trying to do there, and then the Smite goes over to Owner. If the Smite goes to Sylvie, you can still at least salvage it in that you were able to get the dragon itself, and you get some of that scaling, but now T1 are on Soul point. They win the fight. They are going to start Baron.
Well, Mom's trying to help out here. Faker is pretty low, gets a big shield from the Ceres, but they're not going to be able to stop this Baron from going down as Jiwoo going to flash forward and doesn't even get the kill. Owner might bite the dust, but trying to just back out of this one. It is going to elect to flash away. Zeus as well just hops, and T1 are pretty much out. Call Me is going to hit the Mantra Q, but no execute right now. And now they're actually trying to turn something onto Jiwoo. You do not have to stay here, T1. And Jiwoo is flapping on in, looking for a bit more. They do not have any vision. And now the entirety of the team at T1 is sticking around as they're looking for a fight.
Yeah, this is T1's way. Oh, you think you're going to pick us? We're actually, how many of us are still over here? You don't know. And now they know.
Q's going to miss. Unfortunate. But now they're all the way underneath the inner turret, so that's the end of that.
Well, the silver lining here is that Noxim burned a lot of the time of the Baron away with repeatedly stopping those backs, but not able to get any kills. As Dundon will get some bounty gold here for his squad, but See if Zayas can make anything of this play with the Weaver Wall.
It's looking like Dindin is going to run away from all the rocks. If you can outrun the rock missile speed, I think you'll be fine here. He's just running the opposite way now, trying to buy as much time as possible. And you know what? He might just be fine, especially with this nice little disengage cone. Not sure why we still have these in the game. Dindin just still running, and I think he's going to go down right now as Notion trying to fight here in a 4v3. Gonna bait down an ult from Owner, I guess.
I mean, the idea is good. You pull them around on the bottom side, and then maybe Jiwoo can get something done in this fight. He is getting stronger and stronger by the moment, as you saw in that last fight. And if he's just a few stacks ahead when he flashes for that play, maybe he gets the kill. His equalizer is going to be huge.
The equalizer is pretty gigantic. Call Me is in a lot of trouble. He does not have his flash. He's just running away from this one. Keria, he's got Sylvie on top of him. Doesn't care. Even Mom's going to try to help out, but it does not matter. And T1 looks like they've had enough of the shenanigans, trying to get some actual value out of their Baron push.
Yeah, a very weird game, but the chaos is where T1 are going to thrive once again. Soul point, there's 2 minutes to go until that dragon that will decide the game is going to spawn. If Nongshim take it, they might be able to live a little bit longer, right? But the Baron power play here is sitting at 3,500, 3,600 nearly. End up grabbing those additional kills off of really nice flank from Keria, where the equalizer traps them there. Zayas gonna grab another turret. Just so much going the way of T1 here. 11,000 gold nearly, or just 10,000 gold rather, is the gold lead. Don't do math on stream. And I'm looking at this scenario, and I can only think of one way for this to go Nongshim's way, which is that they need to be on this objective first, and Call Me needs to hit all of the poke, and if Jiwoo can get a kill or two early on in the fight before Faker gets the angle he wants with his Weavers Wall, before Owner can get on top of the dragon, then maybe you could win this. Even 10,000 gold down, in a miracle scenario, you maybe could win this, but you have to get onto the dragon first, and I just don't think T1 are going to allow it.
It's not looking very doable at this point in time. There's this one ward that Owner is on. He's going to take that one out. We still got a minute until this one does spawn. But with no Baron available, there's not really anything else to do, right? Except get mid prowl, get bot prowl, and try to set yourself up to be in a good spot for this fight. And Nongshim essentially just going to have to provide a front line for their Smolder. That's their late game win condition. And that's the only way they're going to win this fight. They need to get to you in a spot to do enough damage.
Call Me needs to be hitting poke too. Without his poke, Jiwoo's damage alone isn't enough. And, you know, Jiwoo obviously has to get very close to the enemy team to actually land those Qs, even with the Milio. So it's really tough here for Nongshim. And T1, like I said, they're not giving any space to Nongshim whatsoever. They have so much vision control here. And Nongshim have to wrap all the way around to try to get to this pit. Zayas will see them.
Yeah, Zayas, I think he was trying to get bot maybe to... there's not even a wave there for him to try to get towards this Mega Gnar, but...
Faker has TP and Weaver's Wall, and he's going to get this inhibitor turret. The clock is running against Nongshim.
Ooh. And the poke is it's beginning to land here. The Varus having a bit easier of a time from range. Call Me is not hitting the poke. And it might just come down to a bit of a split unless T1 can get a fight started on their terms. As everybody on the side of Nongshim is just backing away. We got a wall here. They just want to get this Infernal Soul. And Nongshim are just going to give it up. They say, nope, we don't have the positioning on this one. And we are just going to let them have it.
It's not getting better for Nongshim, but if they lose a fight here, the game just ends. So they have to walk away, and they give Infernal Soul, which feels terrible. It feels like a game-losing play. But as you say, with the positional advantage T1 had, there was no winning play. There was no angle. Speaking of angles.
Yeah, they're just going to throw an ult in. Not exactly sure why, but they're just trying to create space, make sure they get that inhibitor, which they do. No Baron buff at the moment. Still 45 seconds until that one. T1 just poking them down, harassing, and trying to push up, create more space before they do go forward this Baron.
And this Rumble pick obviously is still relevant in this game, and I feel like Keria has really increased its longevity by having great equalizers. The map control they've had has allowed him to make some really cool and clutch plays. The Smolder is going to be bigger, as you can see here, now moving up to 9.73. That is a big execute threshold he's getting closer and closer to being able to kind of two-shot people, and if he ends up hitting a big swath of T1 members with his Q in a team fight, maybe you could carry it. I just think that T1, if they regroup here and push, they can end the game before the Elder spawns. They obviously can just force a Baron fight as well. So Nongshim have to be proactive. They're trying to find an angle, but T1 just not leaving any openings, and Zeus has teleport. He's going to threaten a second inhibitor here. Somebody has to respond, but that means Baron. And it's not going to be Dindin. He's not enough to answer this push.
Well, I guess it's the whole team. Guys, you're going to give away the Baron.
It's Gnar also here for Zeus.
Will they get Zeus is the question. It looks like they should be able to relatively easily. And yeah, Zeus is like, okay, you got me. You did get me. But you're giving away the Baron. And I suppose for Nongshim, they'd say, well, we're never going to be able to try to fight for Baron right now, so let's just take the consolation prize. But again, it kind of feels like you're giving away another huge objective, just like what happened on the Infernal Soul.
Yeah, and I think this time you actually have to wipe T1. You can't just sit back and go, well, we'll just try to defend this Baron. You gotta get in there and force a kick play as Sylvie. He's got flash. It's time to shine. Are you going out of this one 0-2, Nongshim? I mean, again, the chances of them winning this game are growing by each passing moment, but they still have to deal with this Baron push. And there wasn't really a great play to make when Zeus was pushing bottom side there. Dindin is 2 levels down, or was at the time. He can't come over there and deal with it by himself and then teleport in. So if he goes down there, they lose him and then lose the inhibitor and then also lose the Baron. So they just opted into trying to kill Zeus here and saying this is the highest positive play. Is it a positive situation? No. But it's a less bad situation. If we could just live for the Elder fight, if we could maybe survive this Baron, 2 more minutes on that. Maybe we have that Miracle Elder fight, because that's all it takes to win this game for Nongshim is 1 win on the Elder fight. Easier said than done, but if the chance is not 0%, but that Nexus is still alive, that Smolder's still scaling. Nongshim fans clutching their seats tightly, hoping maybe, is there a world? How crazy would it be if they come back in this game? I don't see it myself, but the Nexus is still alive.
Yeah. You also had Smolder and Karma with TP. Like, you could have sent them both down if you really wanted to fight for the Baron. It's almost like they said, no, we don't want to fight for the Baron by any means. It was very strange. And T1 are just now pushing with this Baron, although the wave clear is pretty nice with Karma Smolder. It's what this combination does offer you. Sylvie gonna queue in, looking for an angle, but T1 just holding their ground. They're just going 3-1-1 and saying we're gonna take out these inhibitors first before we do anything.
Zeus should be able to get this. Oh, the minions will.
Right?
The minions will. He gets it.
No, they won't.
He gets it. Right? He wants Dindin instead.
He's going to take down Dindin. And now we got a wall coming down. Zeus is going to get that one. As Faker is just going to have to go into stasis. He is going to be executed. And now Sylvie, he gets a kick and immediately dies. But that's 2 executes now for Jiwoo, who's looking for more. There's the 3rd one. Triple comes forward from Jiwoo. And that will be 4 as Guma does bite the dust. And Jiwoo will survive quadra kill as T1 can't quite break the base down.
All right, so that is so much money that he just picked up here. We'll see what he ends up buying. Could just straight splurge for GA here if he wants to, and then go for this Elder fight. 75 seconds until it spawns. T1 will be up. Guma also has teleport. In this matchup, he doesn't need any aggressive summers. He's just got the Ignite from Carrier, and we'll be able to match some of those rotations. This is kind of a botch, to be honest. Faker ends up coming in here, and it's Smolder, so he just flies over it, and then Faker has to stopwatch to try to stop himself from dying. The second execute threshold will be hit there, and then Jiwoo can fly and flap for the chase. And we might be seeing another Jiwoo ceremony if this does continue. It's not over yet. They still have to win the Elder fight, but this is the biggest swing you were ever going to hope for.
He flapped over the wall, and then he got Melio ulted.
Yep, and then he's like, oh, I can cue them from a million miles away. He didn't say any of that, but...
I'm sure that Sylvie is screaming like, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. The AD carries generally don't say too much.
I mean, the Nongshim fans are here for it. Like, this miracle comeback, I've been kind of like setting up the script a little bit, you know, like, hey, it could happen. It's probably not going to happen, but like, the chances are high the longer this game goes. Elder is up. The Ox Principle, Valez. Always respect the Ox Principle, the Smolder and the upset. Nongshim have Prio, and now Dindin He's gonna back. He can in.
Yeah, are they gonna fight this or what? I mean, maybe looking for a steal of some sort. It's just gonna come down to a 50-50, but that's Elise City kicks him away, and it goes to Forrest! Kuma's gonna get it! As, you know, Forrest does have a smite of his own. It's his Q button, and he will take it down in the chaos. T1 get it, and they're just waiting for the smolder. There's like negative damage going into him, though. T1 kept alive by the Melio. Meanwhile, Zayu's trying to end the game.
Which Elder's better, Valdez? I think I know. He's gonna TP back.
Okay. And the game is not over.
It's not over. It's not over. How many stacks does this guy have right now? It's got to be a ton. We're reaching 34 minutes into this game. And T1 will maintain the Elder on a few of their members here. Let's see exactly how this goes. As far as just channeling. He gets kicked away.
Oh,
at 162. That's just not it.
How did it go that low? With both smites available.
474 stacks currently on Smolder. Got the update. And yeah, so this ends up going their way, but Gio actually flaps over here, gets behind them, and even with T1 having vision here, they just don't have the ability to lock him down. So he can just kind of fly around. It has to be Varus arrows that hit him, because you're not going to get him with a Talia shove. A seismic shove's not going to catch this guy. Chains of Corruption's pretty tough to land in this situation. Otherwise, you're looking at Glacial Prison. And so there's just so much free reign, and it's not really part of this draft I thought about when we were looking at, you know, the lineups of 5v5 and the Soldiers survive the early game. How well can they get to the late game? How well can he stack with the Karma Pile? I wasn't really thinking about how many different ways can T1 use to lock him in place, and there's a few, but they're not consistent. So he's just had so much power in all of these extended fights. Now T1 are going to start this Baron up on spawn here. No one is even in the top half of the map.
They're just using the Elder Drake to get this objective, and they'll have Exodia for 35 seconds. But, you know, I think it's enough to actually group mid and take the mid inhibitor. Because even with you poking down and being annoying, you have Elder. So if you do it slow enough, might be enough.
I mean, the wave clear is just so insane, though. T1 have to be so respectful that the bounce damage here on every single Jiwoo Q is so lethal. I mean, even on Owner here is super tanky. How much damage it's done to him. His shield is broken on his Rooker, and it's procced here, rather, I should say. And
so, yeah, they're just trying to split push multiple lanes and just use that. The second that you leaves mid, that's a go sign for T1. They're going to take down the mid inhibitor. We have double super minions in every wave, and yet Smolder can 1v9.
Yeah, I mean, Owner's kind of in trouble here. He needs to get over this wall. State taking so much damage.
Yeah, the trouble you mentioned is 1Q.
Yeah, just one.
Which is actual trouble.
Look at
Carry as well. He nearly died. He almost died from 2 abilities. And now we got Gnar in the top side. Big equalizer. T1 trying to put an end to this one, but can they is the question. Guma desperate to try to take down the turret. He gets the one. And Dundin is tanky enough. We still got one Nexus turret. And that might be enough as Gio is so fast, he's gonna land 1Q onto Guma. Guma, he's gonna flash and die.
Flash is too late. He's in Q range there. Milio plus this late game Smolder is just insane. Who says Varus outranges a Smolder? Gio says not today. And they cannot end. And that Weaver's Wall from Faker actually kind of blocked T1 from actually capitalizing on trying to push onto the Smolder there. He's at 535 stacks. I think this one might actually just be donezo. I don't know if T1 can ever win this. Even 3 inhibitors down. It just feels like it's hopeless for them.
There is one ward in the base. Yeah, there's one Nexus turret, so they can't actually backdoor a Nexus at this point. But if a wave builds in the bottom lane, and Ocean try to go for like Elder Flip in 2 minutes, you know, perhaps. So I think the fact that the base is still an issue. There's still an angle for T1, but you're right. Like, if this is ever a 5v5 or like Smolder's doing damage in any capacity, yeah, Notion will win.
I mean, it's crazy how T1 have to rely so much on minions in this scenario, and that advantage is not forever. 45 seconds on the top inhibitor, which has been pushed out here significantly for Dindin. Uzudir, who can clear waves very quickly. You've got the Karma, you have the Smolder, obviously we've spoken at length about.
51 Infernal Cinders.
Yeah. He is, so the Infernal Cinders have given him an insane amount of ability haste. which he already has Shojins and Quick Blade. So that's why he's able to do Qs so often, so frequently, so frustratingly frequently. And if he dies, that's it. But if he doesn't, that's also it. Like that's the crux of this game right now. The Smolder will carry, and he has
everything
so
is
much,
on Jiwoo.
He has so much to back him up. He's got a
does.
Karma, he's got a Nudir frontline, he's got the Milio ultimate, plus the ability to get that extra range. He's 9-0-4. He has 0 deaths this game. I think we know who's going to get the POG if we make it there. If they do, in fact, bring us to 3, 40 seconds until the Elder comes up, and these waves are still a problem. Top inhibitor has respawn.
Yeah, they're trying to group up in top, push this one out first, and then kind of like knock them out one by one, right? Go top, that's the farthest away from the Elder. You've got your inhibitor up in the top lane as well. Then go mid, and then maybe look bot. Sylvia's just holding the wave for now. I don't think he can clear it alone. As, okay, you know, Guma does a decent amount of damage himself.
He has Infernal Soul.
Uh-oh. But look at Faker. I mean, he lost half his health bar. It's 1 Q.
Yeah.
Vision's going to play a big role in this as well.
Palmy also taking a huge chunk, not able to shield that one. Azayas is still a side lane threat, and he does have teleport, so Nongshim actually have to be, as the Smolder comp, weirdly enough, the ones who start things off, and the poke is coming through. Faker stopped on his back, his TP is available, so he wanted to just come back into this fight at full health. Not going to be allowed to. TP here on Zayas.
This is Jiwoo, and I think he's going to be able to kill Zeus. Zeus just going the opposite way. T1 are taking down the Elder Drake as this is happening. And Zeus, I mean, this is going to take a while for them to kill him. He might even be able to get this inhibitor as Meganar comes in. He's got Zonya's created as Meganar, and down he will go. He does get executed, but Elder Drake taken by T1.
Yeah, but Elder Drake just isn't that good for T1, to be honest with you, Valdez. Like, their comp doesn't do longer damage.
They deny it from Nongshim.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to say this when I saw them decide to give the Elder, like a light bulb popped off my head, is this is like the modern version of the Jin Air T1 game, because the Elder doesn't matter to Nongshim. They're just infinitely scaling. There is no reason for them to care and lose a fight where they don't have positional advantage. And the 3 inhibitor advantage that T1 had moments ago, there's still 10,000 gold ahead, 11,000 gold ahead. They're not going to get 3 inhibitors off of this Elder. That's not going to happen again, I don't think, this game. The advantage they had for so long is now gone. As these inhibitors respawn 30 seconds, 53 seconds, then Nongshim actually have agency for the first time. And this Smolder has been scaling up since then. And I'm a little bit worried about what's going to happen here for T1, because yeah, you got the Elder, you deny it from Nongshim. But what's the next step? Starting a Baron fight here in 30 seconds? It's going to have to be an amazing Weaver's Wall from Faker, or some sort of Gnar angle here. I mean, they do have a little bit of vision control right now.
I think T1 have to kill Jiwoo. Like,
I mean, of course,
you can't, well, what I mean is you can't start an objective. You can't do anything if Nongshim are there, because you will just die. Like, you will not be able to win a 5v5. So either you all in and you kill Jiwoo and you win the fight, or you're just going to get poked out and you lose the game.
And
so
weirdly, Nongshim are not even going to take that theory to the test. They're going to just sit back and clear these waves and continue to scale, saying our wave clear is so good that I don't care if you have Baron. We've already done that. We've already dealt with this before. Inhibitor's starting to respawn here, and Nongshim will just give it up.
Exodia's got nothing on Smolder.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares about Exodia?
All right, I didn't know.
Doesn't.
We were going to maybe have a historic game on our hands here, Valdez, when I showed up to work today, but we're getting there maybe. Let's see if Owner could say no, it's not. It's a 2-0. Look for a flank angle here. They've cleared out all the vision. Let's see how good that wave clear really is for Nongshim here. Is going to have to push through these Baron mains, but watch Jiwoo just do it.
Yeah.
His Qs, he's got so many stacks.
But what about all 3 waves at the same time? I think T1 are doing the right thing, but they have to play this so carefully. Because if Jiwoo gets enough damage, the game might just end. As now, Engage is just going to sail wide. But maybe it's just a distraction tactic because they took down 2 inhibitors.
But inhibitors didn't work last time. Jiwoo's walking towards him.
Oh God, run away!
The nerves are coming through here for T1 as well. As they're watching this game, I think potentially slip through their fingers. I mean, they've been in control for so long.
Is running at them and everybody's scrambling. There's like a giant monster chasing them. Oh God.
Okay, they should be able to get this 3rd inhibitor now if they just focus together. As Faker's on a flank, he has Weaver's Wall. Jiwoo can just fly over it though.
Uh-oh, Jiwoo, he's getting aggressive.
Okay, now he doesn't have his flight. Let's see if Faker decides to capitalize on this.
Guma almost died. And he's he's going to flash early this time. A Q comes down on Owner. I don't think he's getting out of here unless he flashes. He's going to elect not to flash. As meanwhile, Zeus, he's looking for the end. He's trying to just take down the turret, and he will. He's going to take it. The rest of the team is just running away. They do not want to fight this Smolder.
I mean, look at how many structures T1 have up as well. It's not like T1 can just go, oh, okay, or rather, Nongshim can just go, oh, okay, well, we killed your critical members here. Let's just push this 5 and end. They have to go through the outer turret and mid, inner turret, inhibitor, nexus turret. So these respawns are going to come through. And I feel like, I guess maybe if you can group like this again as T1, now that the nexus is exposed, you might be able to get something done. No wards were dropped in the base. So T1 doesn't have a teleport ward to end with.
Oh man, there's no Baron either for Nongshim, so they just get the waves cleared. They can't push even the outer turret.
The outer turret, Valdez,
they can't even take that
minutes. And the Elder Drake was created because it was designed to stop moments like that 90-plus Jin Air Green Wings SK Telecom game. But it turns out the second Elder Dragon was created, and it was a mistake. As this Elder Dragon is just trumping the real Elder Dragon. Look at his gold. He's the one. He's the Jiwoo Stripe, the 4,100 gold lead. Yeah. Only in bottom lane, the Jiwoo exclusive.
This is the Azir, the Sivir, and the Baron all together, plus an Elder Drake, which was introduced after that.
There's no Kha'Zix.
There is no Kha'Zix.
Where's Umpty?
Oh, feel bad. Umpty should be here for this.
Oh boy, well.
Sure, he'll watch it. And, yeah, Moby Boots.
I like this, actually. It's a great call. And Hullbreaker, too. So he's going to try to just burst down the Nexus, and obviously he's going to have those additional resistances solo here.
His job, he's not a team fighter anymore.
Yeah.
Like, there's no tank that can survive against you, so all you got to do is split push. So you don't care what items survive against Smolder, you care about what allows you to kill side lanes and actually
kill the base.
Push. Yeah. Uh-oh. This could get interesting, too. Okay. Yeah. Zeus, I think that's the right call at this point. Just run away.
Yes.
And look at Faker as well. He's always looking for an angle, maybe to Weaver's Wall into the base. He was like in the enemy jungle waiting. He didn't have Weaver's Wall, but now that's something they have to be careful about.
Yeah, I also really love that Jiwoo is stuck with this build. He's almost at 700 stacks.
Oh, man.
Because he is just full glass cannon because he knows that his teammates, like, he doesn't want a GA, he doesn't want a Zhonya's, he doesn't want any of that safety stuff. I don't want any of that because I want to just do the damage and rely on my teammates, rely on my team's wave clear. If I'm in a position to where I have to Zhonya's, the game is over. I don't want that item. I don't want GA.
What if he hits 1,000 stacks? Do we begin to see some tank items? Because at that point, it doesn't really matter what items you have. It's just about what your Q stack is at.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that may be true.
Maybe eventually, although at this point, I do agree. Like, you are the damage dealer.
Yeah, and on this patch, you get more value out of your actual items with the burn and stuff like that.
T1 aren't even doing the Elder Drake anymore. It's useless. There's no point. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
They don't care. What is that ward, by the way? Did he mean to get that over the wall and fail? Or did he think there was a control ward so he didn't want to put over the wall? Now I'm like really thinking into every little angle.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine on this one, Valdez, but they are picking the Elder.
There is a blast cone right there. So if you TP to that ward and blast cone over, then you can get in. Also, if Faker does it, he can just Weaver's Wall in. So that's another option.
Yeah,
but in Zeus' case, right?
They need to realize that and actually sweep that out potentially here is T1 are going to start the Elder to try to bait them in to being away from their base and not reacting. And Nongshim also don't care about
they know. They just pinged it.
Yeah.
They know something is there. This Elder Drake goes down and I think nobody cares.
I think he just swept it, yeah. He just swept it. This is basically stalemate territory, Valdez, so we're in right now.
We getting a remake?
I mean, I don't think we're going to get a remake.
You and I are going back to our StarCraft 2 days.
I know.
Gonna like an hour-and-a-half game, they're going to be like, okay, we just need to redo it.
That was the funniest thing about that Jin Air Green Wings versus SK Telecom game is everyone was talking about it's like the legendary longest esports game of all time, and Valdez and I are like, man, we had like 3-hour games every week for a while there.
Yeah.
Not really, but we did have a over 2-hour game that was remade and then went to an hour as well.
Yeah. So Nongshim trying to make a play maybe for the Baron.
Yeah, now this Baron, they don't have vision. Oh, if Owner just bursts. Okay. This is so scary.
Oh, gotta be careful where you're standing. He's such a threat. Nobody's getting near this guy.
Faker's just going to try to get an inhibitor down, because when these inhibitors are up, you have so much time. And the fact that Jiwoo also has teleport is just so frustrating, because he can just come back at any time and deal with you.
All right.
And they got Baron, but no inhibitors. So right now, I got the count. 4 Barons have been taken. Now 5. 3 Elders. Guess what? Nongshim, 1 Elder baby.
1 Elder.
So 5
Baby
Barons, 3 Elders.
Not as good as Smolder.
How many Barons does Nongshim? That's a 0. How many turrets does Nongshim have? 2. How many turrets does T1 have?
2.
11. Is that Nexus naked? That's right. You guys aren't seeing this wrong.
Okay, he just tried to get in there. That was a bit scary.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for that. My heart was not ready.
No.
Karya. Mom called down. He's on the run. No, he's dead.
He's trying to bait, but this...
Oh, no, he gets the flash. Great timing. Equalizer comes out for a bit of poke, I guess.
I mean, he avoids the Glacial Prison.
1Q. Oh! He's dead! They did it! They killed the Smolder!
That's game!
That's the game! All they had to do was kill Jiwoo! And they did it! GG! I guess T1 will take this one as they use their 3rd Elder Dragon to win game number 2.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable game of League of Legends. It better be getting a 12er.